Good morning, everybody. Kareem here. Today I'm going to be doing a pull tension test with using this tension gauge or indicator. So I'm going to show you how to use this on the BAi The Mirror Machine, and we're going to learn together a little bit more about what we can do to get the right tension. I'm using tearaway stabilizer, and then this is canvas that I have, just some spare canvas that I've used. I've actually used this before on patches. Let's see. That was not the best way to set this up, but you get the point. Just got to make sure that this is not too stretched nor too wrinkly. While I have this here on my mighty hoop stand, I also like to put this on so that I know where I need to screw them or attach them to my machine. Take it off and let's go to the machine. Try to align this the best way that I can. This is a pull tension gauge. I'm going to be testing this today and see how we can use it for our BAi machine. We're going to start with the bobbin just because I know that the bobbin is the one that sort of rules the machine. Let's give it a try. I'm holding the case right down here so that I can pull without moving the case. I'm going to pull and look at this reading. It's in between 25 and 30. Let's try this again. The bobbin case is going to disappear because I want you to focus on the gauge right here. So right there is a 0. You can see that, right? Yeah. I'm going to start pulling, and now it's in between 25 and 30. And let's put it back in the machine. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to test every single one of these needles. Now there are two ways that I've seen people do this. The one way is that they take out the thread from the needle to use the tension gauge. Now, for some reason, I don't think that's an accurate reading. That's just my belief. I could be wrong. The way that I do it is that I leave the thread and the needle, attach it to the tension gauge, and pull. To me, that's more of an accurate reading because the tension starts from this needle, right? It has to go through that hole to get the right tension. Unless I am wrong, feel free to comment and let me know, but that's just the way that I think this works. But here's my tension gauge. I am going to wrap the thread around it. I have to hold this knob so that this doesn't rotate. I'm going to hold the knobs, and then I'm going to wrap the thread around a couple of times, well, a few times. Just because I've noticed that if I only wrap it around 2 times or 3 times, it gets loose. And with the thread attached, I'm going to start pulling. It's a 0. I'm going to start pulling the thread. And watch. That's like 16. And that's no bueno. It's needle 15, as we can see here. I'm going to go and make sure that everything is threaded the way it is supposed to be, which seems about right. Now, when we start getting to the knobs, now because I've adjusted this before for different types of projects, you'll notice that this one, the metal part inside, it's about the same level of the plastic, right? Now, notice how some of these are actually very different. So the metal part is sticking out of the plastic. In other ones, the metal is actually deeper inside the plastic. It really depends because I think I don't know the science behind all of this. I only go by the logical way that this looks and the best way that I can rationalize this. I don't think there's an exact way that they all have to be. It really depends because you also have this top or this upper tension knobs that also play a role into your tension rating. Again, some of these you will see that are sticking out of the plastic. Some other ones are about the same level. Some other ones are probably like inside the plastic thingy. That's why I think it's important to do proper reading with a pen like this. I keep calling it a pen. I don't think it's a pen. It's like a gauge, but I like to call it a pen. Let's go ahead and adjust the knobs for this. Now it was too loose, so I'm gonna tighten it. And you can kind of start feeling, I don't know if it's just me or my machine, but you can kind of start feeling when it starts getting tighter. So I think that's about, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna tighten this just a little bit more. Let's do another reading. What is it going to give me now? Sorry for the out of focus. It's improving just a little bit, so we need to tighten it more. That's needle 15 over here. And let's give it a try. It's improving. It's at about 100. Let's tighten it just a little more. It's a little bit over 100. Let's do some more. That should do it. I think most of the other needles are at about that same amount. We could tighten it just a little more, just to see what it's going to do. Let's see. And I'm almost out of my place here because I don't want to cut the thread. I think that's going to work. I think that's perfect. Sorry for the out of focus. Yep. Now the fun part is taking the measurements from each one of those needles. I'm going to do that and speed up the video. See you in the future. All of my threads should now have proper pull tension settings. No, not settings, but readings. And the readings, I actually had to put some tape on this gauge because the ink or the measurements, the numbers were disappearing. But yeah, so the gauge reading here for the pull tension needs to be in between 100 and 150. I know that this edge of these tapes, this one is 150, and of course this one is 100. So anywhere in between this 100 and 150, that's where my pull tension should be reading. Now let's give it a test. Because I may want to do several tests, that's why I put in the really large mighty hoop. I'm going to move the design all the way to the edge so I can then maybe do another one here, another one here. Let's give it a trace, normal trace first to record the origin point. That looks like it's good. And then I'll do an outline trace just to make sure. Now, before we continue with the test, I am going to lubricate my needle mechanisms by adding 2 drops of oil inside And now somebody asked me here in a comment on my previous video what the purpose of this faceplate was and if it protected the machine from dust. And to answer the first question, the purpose of this custom-made faceplate is to make it easier for maintenance. The original faceplate is a metal one that doesn't have any kind of openings to easily apply this oil on here. That's why I went ahead and modified one, and I also added my logo. Now that's a really bad logo, and that's why I kept this one. This acrylic is actually not made for engraving, but I wanted to give it a test, and that's why it's got my logo. But somebody also asked me about the logos, and they actually look much better than that. And I'll be making one example on Monday that I can share with you, so you can see how it would look if you add your own brand or your own logo. Now, to answer the second question about the dust proof, this machine isn't really dust proof. As you can see, there are openings behind the needle mechanisms. So even if you were to remove this, you're exposing the mechanisms to more dust if you were to completely remove this. But look in the back, you can actually see my finger because it's wide open behind these mechanisms. So dust will get there no matter what, no matter whether you have the metal one or these custom made ones that I make, dust is still going to be going in. There it is. Now let's go ahead and start the test. Now, if you're interested in buying this, it's available on my website. It is I Make Things, and you can just look for BAi faceplate. And you'll find it in there. Right now, it's pretty inexpensive. It's only $15 if you want the basic clear acrylic one with no logo in it. But the more, the more options that you want, like different colors, different transparency levels and things like that, then the price starts going up. But the most basic one, transparent one, is $15. And a lot of them are actually for $15. Go to my website and look at it. Now let's go ahead and start the test. This is finished. Now the moment of truth is about to be revealed. Let's look at it. Here it is. Perfecto. Well, most of them. Let's take a quick observational analysis and determine whether this is good or not. From just looking at it from above, what I am seeing is a pretty good consistency of the thread all throughout. Now, this crazy hairs was my fault because I didn't do a trimming on the thread when I rethread them, so don't mind the crazy hairs. But overall, the top portion of this embroidery seems to be okay to me. Now, some of you may say that the pull tension may be a little too strong on the top thread, but one key thing about this is that this is canvas. This is a canvas fabric. I don't know much about fabrics, and I'm sorry, I'm not an expert on this, but this is just my observation, right? Please let me know if you think I'm wrong, or just educate me if possible. The thing about canvas is that the threads, the fabric of this, or the thread is basically like a grid, so they're pretty easy to unthread, right? The canvas is stretchy, but not so much, but it's structured. But it's not too solid, it's not too rigid. Like felt is cotton, stretchy, is very stretchy. It's more stretchy than the canvas. Cotton, or this is the felt, I'm not even sure this is cotton. Whatever this may be, this is a little more stretchy, it is a little solid, but it's not easy to unthread, whereas canvas is, this type of canvas is. That's why it may look like the tension is pulling a little too much, but I find this to be more of an accurate testing because it falls right in between just cotton, flexible fabrics, or structure fabrics like hats and things like that. So I found this to be a much better reading. As long as I can see no bobbin peeking out or peeking through the top thread, then I feel like this is okay. I don't mind the edges, not on this fabric, not for this test. I'm just looking for the top, for bobbin peeking through the top thread. Now let's look at the back of this. You can see that the bobbin thread here on this one may be a little too thin. The red one may be a little bit better. The blue one may be better. The pink one, the brown, the purple, the yellow. This I may need to increase the tension of the top thread. This one I may need to lose it a little bit and things like that. Overall, I'm okay with this reading. I'm really okay with this reading because I don't see any kind of craziness in the bobbin. I may just want to adjust this green one, maybe even this pink one just slightly, but I'm not too worried about any of this at all. If you think otherwise, let me know. Again, I'm not an expert. I'll be honest with you. I'm learning with you because I've only been embroidering for less than a year. And this is my first time testing the pull tension. I am not an expert, but this is just what I believe. And I will tell you why I think this is good. Because I've been doing embroidering with my BAi machine without adjusting the tension. Just as it came from the manufacturer, that's how I've been doing embroideries with no issues whatsoever. I may have had a few thread breaks every so in a while, not many, but I wanted to learn more about this. I was actually pretty terrified of doing these type of tests just because I didn't understand, and I still don't understand all the way. But if you don't think this is a good reading, let me know because I would definitely want to learn how to fix this or how to improve this. But overall, I think it's good. The reason why I say that also is because I didn't have any issues. I didn't have any thread breaks. I didn't have any craziness going on here or over here. So I think I'm good. Again, let me show you the gauge. I was able to conduct this test with this pull tension gauge. Again, my top thread needs to be anywhere between 100 and 150. I can tell you that the green one that I want to fix was below 100. I remember that. So that's how I know that I need to work on that one just a little bit more. And then the pink one was actually too strong. So that one was reading just a little bit over 150. That's why I knew those I need to work on. If I show you, if we look at this again, Watch this. The bobbin takes a lot more space than the top thread on this one, and the green one, it takes a lot less space, the bobbin on this one. I know that these two I purposely, well actually these four I purposely made them like that based on this reading. Some of them have a read higher than 150 and the other two read lower than 100. That's how I know. That's how I know that this works, and I'm happy with this. I don't like this pen. I like it because it's useful, but I don't like it. I wish I could find something better out there that isn't expensive. This was about $30-something on Amazon, and I'm actually thinking about making my own version, so stay tuned, because if I find a way to make something similar that's going to help me read my pull tension, then I'll be more than happy to let you know. And if you guys are interested, you guys could help me test it first. So for now, I'm going to be using this one and see how I continue learning about embroidery. Let me know if you have any questions, or just leave a comment, or also if you're interested in the faceplate, just go to my website and get it, because I do have to make sure it's over there. I do have to make sure that I have in stock the acrylics that you're interested in, and if I don't, I always go to my vendor, and most of the times they have all the options that I have on my website. But if in case they don't, then I will let you know once you submit your order. Then I will let you know, and I'll give you a couple of options, and I may also just give you something free. Just let me know. Thanks.